it is, as you say, a lesser-known Agatha Christie, which was, to the best of my knowledge, first adapted for screen in the early 1980s. And it begins with a sort of slightly mystifying circumstance of what's his face who plays Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones.
Ian Glenn.
Thank you very much. Having an unfortunate let's call it accident, and then
we know that there has to be a dead body in Agatha Christie. There has to be a dead body.
Yes. Well, he gets. I'll give a brief spoiler as it happens in the first couple of seconds. He gets gored by a bull.
Oh dear.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. And back in mainland England, as this clearly was not, there is a party going on in a house which is owned by Helena Bonham Carter, and her lovely daughter, who goes by a ridiculous name that I can't even remember because it's so ridiculous, who is excellent, and they have rented
played by Mia
house.
McKenna Bruce. Yeah.
Played by Mia McKenna Bruce, who I now officially think is absolutely marvellous.
Yeah.
Having first come across her in the first episode of The Witcher, which is still yes. So in this house that is sort of being used for a big party and for a weekend away of training for Foreign Office people, a young man dies in somewhat mysterious circumstances, and he is somebody whom she is rather fond of, and in dealing with the grief of it all, she discovers a letter written by him that includes mention of 7 Dials. And off she goes, because it is said that he has committed suicide, and she does not believe for a second this would be the case, because he was clearly planning on proposing to her. And it seems like a strange thing to do 2 days before you're planning on proposing to somebody. So off she goes, enlisting other people who were at the party, who are friends, and working out what this mystery to do with 7 Dials is, which, it could be clocks, it could be the place in London, it could be all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I found it a very well put together series. I really enjoyed it. In contrast, my parents both watched it, and my dad made it to the end, didn't like it, and my mother made it through the first episode and didn't like it and won't go back. So, and we do not have the same viewing preferences, but that's I felt was quite an extreme reaction. I found it really enjoyable. It was, obviously it doesn't need to be seen in the cinema because it's not available in the cinema. It's a 3-part series, which is absolutely perfect to watch on the sofa and sort of immerse yourself in, quite beautiful scenery. It's well shot. It's a very good cast. I found the pace went quite well.
So there's something that there's like, whenever I hear Agatha Christie, and you sort of female protagonist and everything like that, there is a temptation to write it off as Sunday afternoon fare. So with this being Netflix, is it anything more than Sunday afternoon fare?
No, probably not. But not in a bad way. It's not failing itself by not being more than Sunday afternoon fare. It's it's not got you hanging off the edge of your seat, but it's Agatha Christie, which is not intended to have you hanging off the edge of your seat. Reading the books isn't hanging off the edge of your seat. It's beautifully paced writing that leads you through a mystery in not quite a formulaic way, because they're not formulaic, and yet you can follow the path that it's the waves and the ebbs of the resolution. And this achieves that, I found, very nicely. It adds, a little bit of appropriate levels of tension, given, murder, but but also, and uncertainty, and a touch of danger, and all that jazz. But I really liked it.
All right. So how many stars are we talking?
I am going to go 3.75.
3.75 out of 5. So 3.75. If you didn't hear earlier, go back a little bit and you hear about this graduation system. How there's 3 stops between each whole number of how a film could go. Because sometimes things things are a little bit elevated or demoted. Right, cool. So 3.75 for Agatha Christie's The Seven Dials Mystery, to give it its full title, on Netflix. And now